one of the All-Stars that you got selected?
Was I the assigned person?
Yeah.
Typically that's my job. Usually we get to surprise the team because it's usually a day game, not a night game. But guys knew, but it still was kind of a lively meeting in the clubhouse. But I was able to call all three of them this morning. Exciting for probably different reasons for all three of these guys. Randy was my first call. When I saw that, huge smile on my face. And, I've been doing this a long time, but for someone like him to make the All-Star team, one, with the job that he does is typically not rewarded with an All-Star nod. Two, where he's come from last year to where he is right now, to be one of the elite pitchers in the game, and the role that he has, very rewarding, and certainly the guys really celebrated that. Robbie, so he's been an All-Star, he's been a Cy Young Award winner, and then had double surgery, and it's almost like you have to start all over again. So there's some toughness and some perseverance involved to come all the way back, and now to be an All-Star again. Pretty cool stuff. And then Logan, you make it twice in a row, that's a perennial All-Star. So that's different level stuff now for Logan, where he's just one of the best pitchers in the game. It feels like every year and getting better and better and better. So, especially with the pressure that he had on him last night. He's got to pitch well last night and do it in front of, his hometown crowd. So, a lot of cool stuff going on with all three of those guys.
Have you determined yet where Robbie will pitch? Will he be pitching on that Sunday?
We're talking about that right now. There could be a good chance.
Did Logan tell you that he was on the golf course when you received the call?
He did not tell me that. He was the last one to respond to my text. But I wanted to call. I was hoping, it was fairly early, I was hoping that Randy would acknowledge me first, and he did within seconds.
I don't think we can forever have this whole situation. We get that news today.
Right, all the way around, just great stuff. But again, like last night, there's probably a little more pressure on him too. He knows that he's going to have to pitch well. It's not a for sure thing if you have a bad game with as many good pitchers are in the league. But typical Logan went out there and did it in front of the home crowd, so it was really cool to see. And it was cool to see the response that he got every inning he came off the field.
You have seen the evolution of Randy as a major league pitcher. Do you see any potential to be a closer?
There's no doubt he's got the potential to be a closer. What we use him in right now is almost a tougher role, and we have used him to close too. And nowadays, when you have the workloads aren't 3 or 4 days in a row. You use somebody for a couple of days and somebody's down. Walker's closed game for us. Randy has, and Noah's our closer right now. But yes, definitely stuff to be able to be a closer.
You mentioned last night that Tyler Rogers was somebody who's worthy consideration. Are there other guys that you kind of wish that you've seen on that list?
Yeah, well, Tyler's the one that stands out the most. Unfortunately, you're not going to get two setup guys from the same team. And look, if Chappie has a tool, he doesn't get hurt, and probably, Elliott's had a good year. And I constantly talk about Flo and what he's meant to this team. I know they're probably not all-star worthy numbers, but what he's meant to this team is probably as significant as anybody to any team.
What does it mean for you as a manager to give one of your players a call to be an all-star while he's at home in his hometown?
Different. It's the first time I had to do that. So I think we all knew after the game that it was kind of a loss for him, but it just kind of makes this whole weekend for him that much more special.
Strikeout 900 for Webb. You guys do anything in the locker room with him celebrating that?
You know what? It's pretty spread out in there. Maybe they did after the game. I'm not sure. There's usually a little celebration that goes on amongst the players. I'm guessing that happened here.
What does it mean to get 900? That's kind of
it's a lot. A lot of strikeouts for a guy that's a sinker ball pitcher, and he's taken it to a different level this year with the strikeouts. He's become a better pitcher and developed some pitches that allows him to get strikeouts and not just ground balls. So it's just what makes him such a special pitcher.
The athletic side of having two players on the strength two players. For the first time since 2021, the last manager. Any emotional feelings about seeing the athletic involved now again, probably like the people you used to manage over there.
Oh, look, I mean, what, 8 homegrown position players on the field, a lot of first round picks, and it's a bright future. It's a bright now. I mean, they're a really difficult lineup to navigate through. So there are some similarities to some of the younger teams that I had in Oakland, but Rooker probably deserved to make it last year too, and I've had him before, so I'm really happy for him. We all knew Muncie made it based on the fact that he was voted in, and then Cuffy spent some time with him, and I know he's going to have a good time with him as well.
It was a big win last night and good news today. Do you feel like you guys are going to need a little springboard heading into the break? I mean, you've obviously had 2 tough opponents coming from home.
We do. So, I mean, I think anybody right now is tough for us. You look through, the stretch that we're going through, and we haven't played our best baseball, and we haven't scored a ton of runs, and we've been a little banged up, and you want to persevere through these times, and sneak out some wins and play games like we did last night. Getting Chappie back last night was a big deal. And we'd like to finish out strong. And then I think we're on the verge of getting a little bit healthier again. And I think this has all the makings of a really good second half team.
Bob, given everything that you just mentioned, you guys have gone through, are you encouraged that you guys are still in the position you're in?
Very much so. I mean, you work the whole first half to try to put yourself in a position to be, in the conversation for the playoffs in the second half. So that's where we are right now. We do have to finish out strong, and we do have a couple tough teams as well as this game here to finish out strong. But it's a reachable goal for us, and one that we expected since day one.
How did you feel like Casey?
Yeah, one for 3, I think, with a walk last night. So yeah, and he'll play again tonight, and then we'll see more in San Francisco. Maybe.
That was crowd surprise you this weekend if you're so giant.
Well, the first night we didn't give them reason,
Right.
and it's so right. But even when we scored late, you could hear it. Now last night, there were a lot of Giants fans, which was really funny. So it doesn't surprise me at all. You look around and see a lot of black and orange in the crowd. And it wasn't long ago that this was AAA for the Giants as well. So it could be a little bit of a split camp here, but it was really cool to see as many Giants supporters as we had last night.